Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to Stationeers. I did a little off-camera work. I modified the little furnace room here a teeny bit so that the chutes are all inside and therefore the external temperature will not affect the ices that get melted. I also faced the volume pump towards us so that you can see it turn on and off. The reason for all this is this episode I am going to build trading, a launch pad and console and all that jazz. But to do that, we need a lot more resources, a ton more resources. Yes, my first project here is to make some Invar. It's the night, so I don't need to seal anything up, and I'm going to be putting 1, 2, and then 1, just to start that up, into the furnace. Activates. Come on, activate. There it is. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I meant to only count to 6, but you know, I got excited. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so that should be enough to make Invar. Invar, a quick reminder, is 6 to 7 MPa, and it is a iron nickel mix. So let's go mix some iron and nickel. So that's 1 and 1. I'm going to make a big batch though. So 2 and 2. So 200 Invar. And it needs to stay above 927 Celsius. So I'm going to vacuum out a little bit of the pressure here. Okay, we lost a little temperature. So what I could do, because I added more oxides than, or more volatiles than oxides, is add an oxide or two. Actually, no, I got that other way around. Oh, man, I'm really bad at this. All right, let's add some more fuel to get it hotter. Or more combustibles, more oxygen. Come on. All right, let me refuel this a little bit more. I'm doing such a big batch that I think it all sort of melted. All right, let's split 1. That should be enough. There, that's plenty hot. It's just very, very pressurized. So now let's relieve some of the pressure. And done. This should be Invar. Wonderful. The next one I'm going to make is Constantin, which is nickel copper mix, because it has a high pressure sensitivity. So there's my copper and some nickel. For Constantin. Solder is a really low temperature, so I can do that last. Electrum is low pressure, lower temperature, and then I'm not going to do steel or anything like that. All right, so this just should be done. There's my... Oh, crud. It's too cold, I think. All right, well, I'll get all that in there and then add some more volatiles. When in doubt, just more fuel on the fire. Constantin needs to be above 727. And we just dipped it below that. There we go. And relieve some pressure. And this should be Constantin. There it is. This is a lot easier to do at night. Next up, I am going to run some... Well, let's see. It's too pressurized for Electrum, so I'm going to run some gold through it. Regular old gold, because we're low on gold too. And then do... Let's just do 1 ingot, though. So close the mold until all 100 melt done. And I'm going to do some raw nickel as well. And it's getting a little bit too cold to do much else. Except for, of course, lead. No, we could do some coppers. It still has some heat. And I'm going to want 1 ingot of that. And then I'll vacuum it out and restoke it. It's not a fully automated forge yet. I'm not even able to turn that off. Alright, so copper requires above 327 Celsius, so we're still good there. There's my copper. Electrum needs above 427, so let's try some electrum, which would be gold and silver. And we'll need to shed some of the pressure. Alright, we dipped obviously below 427. So let me try to add some more fuel to it. Worked beautifully, but obviously the pressure's too high. Needs to be 2.4, no higher. There it is. Should be electrum. Wonderful. This is going smooth. What about solder? Lead and iron. Solder can go up to 3.5 MPa. Temperature really doesn't matter at all. 27 Celsius is fine for solder. That's like room temperature. Which is why I'm doing it last, because obviously this forge is cold compared to, you know, normal forges. All right, so there's my solder. Nope, nope, apparently, oh yeah, our pressure went up too high. Nope, stop. Let's remove some pressure, making sure that my overflow tank is getting a little flooded. It's in the red, so I'm going to vent off some of the gas here. I'd like to keep more, but I'd like to wait longer rather, so it cools down, but I don't want to wait too long. All right, so this should be my solder. There it is. And now the electrum, solder, Invar, and Constantin is all cranked out. I'm going to put it in my electronics printer for now. And it's also daytime, so the rest of this iron here, I will go on arc furnace. And iron is the fastest to go through an arc furnace, so... Oh, hello, sneaky pipe. I'm just going to sloppily put some stuff away. I had stuff on me. Yep, sorry. This is really the wrong stations and everything, but I don't really care. Okay, there we go. So the first thing I'm going to make is... Well, actually, no. I was going to make a landing pad, but the thing is, I might want to change where I want my... I need a platform to put the landing pad down, I guess is the optimal way of saying it. So I'm going to have my platform be out here, which means I want to put sort of frames down so that I can place a landing pad flat. It will make sense as I go, I promise. So for now, let's go ahead and crank out a landing pad. So for a landing pad, we need gold, copper, and steel. And I'm going to switch the the recipe so that once it's done making one, we don't make two. And run back to get some of the remaining resources. Alright, the rest of this furnace can get vented. I guess we didn't do the silicon, but whatever. Okay. Our furnace is pretty much empty, and then everything can sit in the holding tank cooling off for now. The cooling tank, as it were. Okay, so what I wanted to do is let's move this this rover a little bit. Get into the driver's seat and back it up. And get out. Whoa, okay. Sometimes it throws you. It just threw me out. It's very disturbing when it does that. So I'm planning on having my trade pad right here. Ideally. Which means I will need some additional steel frames for where we're going to place it. Which means I need to wait for this to finish off because I don't think I have steel frames in the base right now. I am almost certain that is true. Let me... Because we already checked once, but I'll check again. Any steel frames here? No. Any over here? No. There is some pipes, though. There I have a lot of extra pipes. Some chutes, some steel sheets. That's going to come in handy, but not what I'm after. There's one steel frame. Okay. Well, it's a start. A very modest start to my trade pad area. Yeah, looks like it's coming along. Now, part of me actually wants to test a, while that finishes up, test the furnace here to see if it works during the day. So, we'll close the flue, the pump out all the air that's in this room to nil. Turn that off. Alright, one of my ices melts in my hand, making the room super cold. That's fine. I'm going to put one oxide and see that it gets into the furnace. And then I'm going to put 2 volatils. Something didn't make it in. We should have combustion. Oh, there it goes. Well, alright. I don't know exactly what went wrong. Maybe it combusted out of order or something. But it works. I know, because it's on. Okay, well. Let's vent out the rest of that. Daytime furnacing is a thing now. Good. Okay. Back over here. So here's the landing pad. And I want to lay this out something like something like that. Which means that it's possible that my solar panels are on top of it. So right now I'm going to mine it out and see if I need to relocate those solars to the other side. I think I will. Which is another not insignificant side project that I kind of had wished I wouldn't be compelled to do. But whatever. I think it would actually functionally work. It's just not all that attractive. Alright, so that's the landing pad. The landing pad is where the trade ship lands. I think you probably could assume that. Man, it looks so clear. Well, there's my pumpkin. I should probably cycle that as well, huh? So, as I said, we're going to have to relocate some of these towers. And these are old school. Actually, some of them are steel, some of them are iron, so there's a mix. So let's move the steel ones first. Solar panels don't mind floating, and they're just going to float for now. And I'm going to put them here. I don't want to put them over the farm because it will block the sun, so we'll have a weird, awkward gap there. Just is what it is. Alright, there's the iron ones. I mean the steel ones. Now for the iron ones. I'll move 2. Yeah, that'll work. If you're curious what the difference between steel and iron is, I probably should have told you like many episodes ago. But long and short of it is the iron or the steel are stronger and cheaper. Cables. I'm going to want some extra cables for this. I'm just going to want some cables in general. So the data here is going to continue over like this. I'm just going to have floating cables. Come on. And in a moment the sun will go down, so I can even break down the break down this network, and it's not even a problem. All right, and then this will continue over as well. At least this won't take too long. And I'm making way more cables than I need for this project, but soon I'm going to be wiring up a landing pad, so that is the need for that. In fact, let's go ahead and get the steel out of here. There it is. And start to crank out steel frames. So the advantage of the trade is you can sell things and buy things. It is somewhat of a complex thing. System to set up. It's not super cheap and not very easy. So you have to be a little wealthy, ironically, to set up trade. But once it's set up, it's quite nice. I rather like it. All right, that's probably enough cable coils for the whole project, because we're also tearing up a whole lot of cable coils out of this. But I wanted to net some so that when it comes time to wire up my trade, I have extra cables. Oops, not there. There we go. Two, 3, 4, and 5 is already done. All right. Now we just take the glass off of each and then reinstall them. And then remove the floating cables. So the data and power, just like that. Perfect. This didn't take too long. Oh, no. Data and power is backwards. My bad. That's why they're faced like 180 degrees incorrectly. go. Alright, the rest of these cables can get trimmed. Gonna stop the manufacturing of frames. It's funny, I like melted down a whole bunch of frames and then printed up some more. We do oh. 50 exactly, perfect. I'll also, ooh, no, not perfect, but whatever. We'll keep the excess in my backpack. We do have a floating light here, but I don't really care. I'd fix it if I cared, but I don't. Potatoes. Yes. Let's go fix the hunger. Oops, I just ate a raw potato. At least I am somewhat satiated then. Alright, so I was going to put frames all around this platform here. So it is somewhat set up nicely, and then excavate around it. But we're also going to need steel sheets. Oh, I missed a frame. And this is just step one of a many-step process on how to wire this thing up. Okay, finished with the potato. Now let's start welding. Now I could also put down floor tiles, but externally I've just sort of decided that welded frames are good enough. It will also honestly make it easier for when I am setting up the landing pad, because well, first let me uninstall it, because there are some frames missing underneath. And no, they don't actually need to be there, but I'm going to put them there anyway. Okay.
Jetpack on.
There's a not insignificant amount of setup that the landing pad requires. It requires a whole bunch of different parts in order to operate functionally, which I will go over when I get there, one at a time. Now, if this was really my home base and not just sort of a YouTube series, I'd probably make nice ramps or stuff all around the base and, you know, have it look elegant and wonderful. What I would do personally and what I think is entertaining to watch are very different. So I'm not going to spend time making it so wonderfully aesthetically pleasing. Mostly out of concern for it's not super fantastic to physically watch as a viewer, for me to decorate. This is not Barbie Dollhouse. This is Stationeers, an engineering series, and not a an accessorizing series. Just my 2 cents. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe most of you are like, oh, please accessorize, but I now have just deeply insulted you. and your desires. So good job, me. All right, we want to just get rid of some of the soil underneath the frames, as it looks sloppy. I'm not going to be careful about how I'm mining out. I should, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to be measured or anything like that. I'm just going to chop, chop, chop. Alright, that doesn't look too bad.
Jetpack on.
I guess we can stop the sheets now. So we don't want to use up all my steel. We still need things for the trade itself. Alright, so here's my sheets and frames. I'm just going to set them aside. Landing pad is a 3x3. Slightly larger, in fact, as you can see from the bird's eye view. Alright, so there's the landing pad. Now this thing's going to need to be plugged in. I have to decide upon what network this will join. So to do that, I want to figure out what network has the most free capacity. So I'm going to go into the base.
Helmet opened. Oxygen critical.
Looks to be a little hot in here. Oh no, it's not that bad. It's hotter in the airlock. Part of the reason it's hot is I had just flushed some of my temporary holding tank in here and made it hot because my temporary holding tank was filling up.
Light off.
Alright, I would say vitals. I could put it on vitals or I could put it on miscellaneous. It'd make the most sense on miscellaneous. It is sort of miscellaneous function. I just want to spend a moment in my beautiful garden.
Light off. Light on.
I forget the tolerance that I have my coolers, but I feel like the coolers should be turning on right now. So that's something else to keep in mind. So I'm fairly certain I set them up to turn on only 2 degrees warmer. I also haven't done a lot of the logic stuff, but
Helmet.
that's kind of pedantic and boring. But actually, seeing that my base is kind of hot, before it spirals out of control, I'm going to take a quick look about the temperatures and why the batch writer for the coolers aren't firing up.
Jetpack on.
To do that, it's pretty easy. All right, so before I do that, oh man, there's always something more. I can turn off all the power here and the pump off, so I'm not using it. This here is still pretty hot, so I'm going to let it cool. Actually, that's not that hot. Let's pull that into the base. That's in Kelvin. All right, so let's go diagnose the base here.
Jetpack on.
Temperature, batch writing. So here is the gas mixing. And the escape volume pump. I suppose I should take a look, but it's probably going to be 110. Yep, 110 and exactly. It's not mixing too much gas. Okay. That's all the battery logic. And I think all the temperature stuff is up a floor. All right, max temp is... above the temp reading. And of course I stuck that all in. Okay, great. Min temp for heaters, max temp for coolers is 1. Batch writer for coolers is 1. The batch message is... Oh, wait. I think I see what's going on here. I'm going to grab a blue cable so I can turn my other stuff blue. I don't think it had a way to batch write because it was on an isolated... No, yeah, it was no, it wasn't on an isolated network. All right, so my batch writers for coolers is reading a 1. But my coolers aren't turning on. The issue is for me to get to this logic, because I embedded the logic. Yeah, I embedded the logic behind a frame is I need frame. Okay, let me go get the stuff I need. It's just going to be one of those days, isn't it? That this episode was about trading. It is not about trading anymore.
Jetpack on.
Alright, so for me to fix this, I need frames and sheets for me to figure it out. Leftover purple pipe there, I saw. Get rid of that at some point. Or not care about it, because it's not a big deal. Alright, so for me to fix that, what I would need is to fully weld a frame behind it so that I then can enter and tamper with it and not have an issue of venting my base out to it. Alright, so there it is. Now I have to go back in the base. Oh boy. So much fun. At least we figured out it should be on miscellaneous. And also that I have a temperature issue before, you know, the base burned up or whatever. It does remind me that I should go harvest my pumpkin before something tragic happened to that.
Helmet open.
Alright, so the coolers here. Part of me thinks I just need to literally turn them on. Because they had like an error startup initially, and they just need to be toggled on so that they can toggle on and off by themselves. And that nothing's actually wrong. So let me go do that. Maybe it's a massive, massive false alarm. Alright, how do I get to you, Mr. Cooler? That is definitely... Well, alright, Mr. Potato. This is kind of a funny problem to have. My potato's in the way. Oh, no, don't roll under where I can't. I gotcha. Okay. You are going to be germinating later. Let's see if I can get the button from over there. No, I really can't. Okay. And then I have to put these back. I'm not going to... Well, I'll plant a potato. I have so many spare potatoes. It's really not an issue if I have to waste a few, because obviously I have way more than I need. That's actually why I'm not even bothering to plant anything up here. I want to keep plants here so that the base can account for the heat that these things generate, but I'm not all that worried. So, down to floor 3. Alright, so now I can access these, no problem. let's turn this off. Alright, so the input is the compare for max, and the output is to wall coolers. This is a batch writer, and whether they're on, not setting. Yep, there it is. So now it should work. It was set to setting, not on. Simple little mistake. Slap that back in, and install that back on. I think it was, well, that's rotated incorrectly, but it was grate number 3. Alright, so miscellaneous. I need to run miscellaneous cable out the front of the base. I might most easily be able to do that down here? No, maybe not. I'll have to go into the maintenance bay to do it. But as you can see, my base is no longer 30 or 31 Celsius. It is cooling down.
Helmet closed.
So, heat crisis averted.
Jetpack on.
Alright, the first thing I want to do is dye my cables orange to be miscellaneous cables. There we are, and then I'll do these as well. And head into the maintenance bay and basically shove orange cables out of the base. I could also break down that frame. It's no longer needed. Alright. I have orange cables here, so the door is here. Do I have any orange cables lower than this? I might not. I might not have any orange cables in my basement. So, let's... because nothing was really miscellaneous down there. Alright, I should be able to pick that cable back up in the basement now, and then push it out the front door, essentially. Looks like my power tower's been plenty happy. It basically tops up every day, and then trickles down, and then tops back up. So I should be able to afford all of what I'm currently doing. It should not be a problem. Alright, so there's my orange cable. And soon we will have a powered on landing pad. Now actually I don't off the top of my head know what the power requirements of a landing pad are, or the entire trade. So we might actually have to add some additional power here in the long run. But there's my pad, and it's turned on. Cool. Well, that's a necessary step for trade. What I'm going to do is figure out, actually, the requirements of said landing pad. Oh, this doesn't have any analyzer in it. There it is. Pad is only 100 watts. That's not too bad. It's not bad at all. Next up, we are going to want a satellite dish, a computer, and a vending machine. So let's cue a satellite dish first. So the satellite dish allows you, so I need to put nickel and steel in there. So I made nickel for it. A satellite dish allows you to communicate with like satellites, trade ships, things like that. Not all the functionality is in the game yet, but it does allow you to call trade ships to come trade with you. So I'm going to queue up a satellite dish. Then we're also going to want a communications motherboard and a computer and a vending machine. Seems a little strange, I know, but just that's the requirements. Also, wouldn't hurt to add some lights down in here either. So I do believe I have a few lights. Lights. There they are. And while it prints up, I'm going to add some nice lights to the back stop here. Come on. All right. Wall longs. Actually, we want long angles, I think. Look at that, I'm already out of frames. Okay. Where'd my... Oh, tablet. It's in the wrong... I was gonna do this a little bit more sensitively with my pick. I'm gonna leave the Martian soil in. That should illuminate my sort of outside area here somewhat. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be better. So let's connect these up. I'll probably need more cables. Definitely need more cables, but at least I'll start running the cables. We could certainly hide a lot of these cables more. Let me keep one. I don't really need to have it plugged in right now. Hide these cables to look a little bit cleaner. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Oops, I just slammed it in that light. Alright. Is my satellite dish done? Crank out some additional cables. So the satellite dish allows you to... How to explain it? It allows you to find people that you can... Well, I'll just put it down. It allows you to find things that you can communicate with. I think for now you have to manually change the tilts here. Meaning that it has to be very, very close to your communications computer. So those two things need to be coupled next to one another. Your satellite dish and your comms computer. Then your vending machine that you'll have will want to be somewhat close to the area because the vending machine is the way you interact. So the way the trade works is that you can trade with like the trade pad when a trader has landed, and then the trader will interact with your vending machine. So basically, the stuff that you have in vending. So let me make a computer. The stuff that you have in vending is the tradable inventory. And a motherboard, communications motherboard, which needs silver. I already had it. Alright, so this computer and the motherboard should be close to one another, and then the vending machine should be not too far off either. So let me make the Vend Machine.
Jetpack on.
I think what I'm going to do is hike this up onto frames as well. I'm going to put it up. Do I want it up? Nah, maybe not. Let's just put it like that. That will function. So let's plug these in to one another. Just like fabrication, you just need to plug into one another. And this all will be on miscellaneous. Alright, so this is the communications terminal and the satellite dish. So as you can already see, there's an unknown contact I can contact. Let's go ahead and do it. It's a info satellite. It's not something I can trade with, so can't talk to it. But you tilt the satellite dish like this to be able to contact new things. But I'm sort of getting ahead of myself. Okay, these should be able to turn on. And they do. I probably would want lights here going out that way, or really have them all around the ring or something. But again, aesthetics, so not going to worry too much about it. My vending machine is still in progress, and then I need a credit card as well. Yes, there is credit in space. What I'm going to do is use that portable light. Let me just throw a nuclear battery in there that will last me a good millennia, and yeah, I suppose given how cheap nuclear batteries are and how inexpensively I can charge them up, that's always a possibility. Just, you know, portable lights everywhere. Oh, look at the beautiful temperature here. It is 25 exactly. I must have done something right. Alright, back out we go. I'll put this here. It's good enough. Alright, vending machine and credit card. Vending machine is still in progress. 73%. Then once I have a credit card, we're done with trading. And I will trade something to demonstrate. I'm just going to put all of my materials in here because, I don't know, we'll stack them into one big stack. And while I'm standing here, bake a potato. You know what I wanted to do? I want to cycle this farm and get that pumpkin, because I don't want that pumpkin being destroyed by negligence or something like that. Don't want to neglect my pumpkins. It's almost Halloween. Alright, and I'm doubling the amount of pumpkins I have. I feel very much safer using this farm because it's time tested for a very, very, very long duration than using the one in the base, because the one in the base I just found that my AC wasn't even hooked up correctly. I mean, you know, we don't want to kill off our only resource. All right, so here's the vending machine. Now I just need credit. Credit card doesn't take too long. All right, just need one. And there's $0 on my credit card. All right. So at this point, let's set up on the other side my vending machine. The credit card needs to go into my uniform credit card slot, like that. This vending machine needs to get wired on and plugged in. Will I have enough cables? I don't know. If I do 6-way junctions everywhere, no, almost certainly not. All right, vending machine on. Now, there's nothing in this vending machine, so I can't vend anything. But let's go ahead and grab the gold that I had here. Come on. Lead, nickel, steel, silver, steel, gold, copper, gold. There we are. I just had a teeny little stack of gold. I really shouldn't be using gold for this. But let's say we wanted to trade gold to a trader. You put anything that you want to trade to the trader, you can put in the back of the vending machine. And let's go find a trader. So let's click. What I need to do now is to move around the panel here and tilt it till I'm able to contact a trader. All right, downwards. I'm trying to contact 1413 trader. All right, obviously other way. All right, so we're going to need to rotate like 180 degrees to contact this bad boy. And if you select satellite, you'll get satellites instead of traders. So there's 1413. I'm not even close to talking to him yet. But that's the one I wanted to talk to. So we'll just go with it. This thing does not spin very quickly. There's been a lot of other traders that have been closer to talking to. There we go. 93. Nope. 92. And then... And as you can see, you'd want your computer and... Oh, I am further from talking to him. There we go. Communicate. It is a chem lab. And they have permit... Oh, hello. Permission to land.
Light.
Hello, chem lab.
Light.
And each one of these is a different type of trader. So if we take a look at this chem lab, they've got sleepers. This is basically their inventory, and this is my inventory. So I can trade them gold, right? I can trade them my stack of gold for 600 money, credits, whatever. And then I can then buy stuff from them. So if I wanted to buy an arc furnace, there's one arc furnace. If I wanted to buy their cable analyzers, there's 5 cable analyzers, so on and so forth. I'm going to reset this because what I'm go away. What I'm most interested in is selling off the stuff I don't want.
Jetpack on.
Oh, there's a... Yeah, I got stuck. Selling off stuff I don't want. So let's say the flashing light, the digital valve, just like stuff, junk, right? Instead of just scrapping it, I can turn it into credits. So this logic processor, not every... I don't know, like, who accepts what necessarily, not off the top of my head, but let me just continue throwing some junk in here and maybe turning it into some credits. So door, some power controllers. So it's a really good way of, like, you know, inventory, you know, clearing out your inventory, clearing out your trash. I've had this trash here for quite some time now, and I'm super excited about getting rid of it. And I might be wrong. Correct me if I am wrong, because I could be. I might be wrong, but I think at this moment, you have to move your satellite dish manually, and it doesn't track automatically. I again could be wrong because I'm going off of incomplete data. So let's say this is what we wanted to get rid of. That's a lot of stuff, right? Interact with the trade, and then anything I have inventory for, I can sell them. I'm going to keep my gold. So if I confirm this, now if I check my credit card here, I've got $482 on my credit card, meaning that I could go to the next trader and just say, oh, I have money in my credit card. Here's my credit, and I'm going to buy whatever. Because there isn't actually anything here. I guess steel. I could buy their steel. Just to show you how it works. So they had one ingot of 19 grams of steel. So we confirm that. And then if we go over here, oh, I have some cable analyzers. I didn't sell them, do I? Let me see here. Yep, there's my cable analyzers. I didn't sell them. Confirm that. So if I go up here, I can now vend the steel that I just purchased from them and vend my gold back to me because I didn't want to sell my gold because I don't have a lot of it. So the steel I just put into this electronics printer was steel that I purchased. It was the first item I ever purchased. So there you have it. That is sort of the long and short of trading. I think it's really, really cool. There is plans for trading to be more complex and also for quests and things like that to do like emergency surgeries and to respond to like health events and bases and whatnot. And then when you're done with this specific trader, you can just tell them to depart, and that frees up the landing pad to get another trader. It takes them a moment to depart. And you can contact a whole host of other traders. So if I change the tilt of this a little bit, for instance, let's try to contact one more. Trying to contact 1562. So we're 58%. Okay, and now it's an up-down thing. There it is. There's another trader. It is Tech Tree Trader. Okay. And this is Tech Tree Trader. And, you'll have a running list of traders that you'll be able to contact. Hello, Tech Tree Trader. So now this Tech Tree Trader has sorters, even a credit card, an empty credit card, hydroponics, so on and so forth. All right, guys. Well, you wanted to see trading. So there it is. I know I will go over quickly the list of other things that people have requested. So one of the common things to request was a workshop. I think what I'm going to end up doing is demonstrating one thing set up as a workshop and not a full workshop, because I personally don't think it's all that exciting to set the workshop up once and then do it like 6 more times for 6 more benches. Also, deep scanning mining, coal backups, and other people have been suggesting things like gas generators or turbines or mothership. Now, the mothership is very much in progress, and I don't think I'm going to showcase that here. Gas generators, I think, are pretty trash. Correct me if I'm wrong, but last I checked, they're really finicky and not worth it, and then you have to keep adding gases to keep them running, which is why I don't... It's like a solid fuel generator just all over again. It does generate a lot of power, but it requires constant inputs, unlike solar power panels. And then turbines are not wind turbines. Some people thought they were wind turbines, but I digress. If you have other ideas besides deep scanning and a trade area and maybe coal backup, drop me a line, and I'm eager to add it to my queue. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all later. Adios.